So the passing game still sounds like it's very much a work in progress. That was your biggest question mark coming into the season. Your offensive line doesn't sound horrific. The snap thing is an issue, but the offensive line doesn't sound horrific. The defense, you've got people now, it went from can they be as good as they were last year to they can be better than they were last year. So a lot of these things sound pretty good. Mm-hmm. My question, Paige, can this team, does it have the right pieces, the right personnel to copy last year's formula? Dominate run game, dominate on defense, take care of the football, win 10 games to be on the cusp of a playoff.
Yeah, they'll have to do it the nitty-gritty way. But I think Tennessee's defense benefits the most from last year having so much depth and putting like 12 or so different rotation or guys out there and all the rotations that they did. So maybe they don't have as many returning starters as they did last year, but they have a lot of returning talent from last year. And then you hear about guys like Dominic Bailey, who's been the MVP on defense, or maybe even as the team as a whole this season. And Joshua Josephs, I think he's going to be a great replacement for what they're losing in James Pierce Jr. I think that defense is going to look so good this year. I know there's questions and mark around Boo Carter, but I wouldn't even be surprised if they just trot out 3 linebackers out there all the time. So then you don't really need that star position. And I think Edwin Spillman is going to be so good this season. But then you get to the run game, and that's been the bread and butter for Tennessee football all season long. I really am very high on Deshaun Bishop. I know we talked a little bit about Star Thomas, but Bishop looks so different. Like even just like his arms, his abs, his legs, he looks so much stronger. I know there's that picture going around with him stiff arming somebody during the scrimmage, but I think that could get them to 9 wins. I don't know if they'll get to that 10 wins. Like maybe they'll need all the games this regular season to get there. But as far as replicating that production from last year, like that defense, I have a lot of confidence in.
So defense could, but you still have. All right. So you said it sounds like you're almost there, but not quite.
I have a little bit of question marks with Peyton Lewis. I guess maybe then if they had like that 3-headed, horse again, whichever, 3-headed monster, then maybe. But I still have a little question.
3-headed horse.
I know. I always say so it's actually so bad I shouldn't say how.
No way in Hades. There is 0 chance. Not a chance in the world.
Just sat there and listened to the whole thing, and then
there is a better chance
that
aliens land on the field at Neyland Stadium at halftime of a game, specifically at that moment. Then this team wins 10 games by trying to go 1986 Joe Paterno crap. There's no shot that's going to happen. They 4 new offensive linemen. One of them's a true freshman. New quarterback. You don't have the depth that you had on the defensive line last year. I don't know how in the world they would expect to do that and win 10 games. Now, can they? I think they can go. If they do that, I'd look, honestly, if Tennessee goes tempo, I think they're 9-3 this year. If they don't, they're running that to do what they did last year, which was the right move last year.
I don't know if they're doing
I think they're 7-5. And I think that's what it'll go. Now, the fortunate part is you go up against a lot of bad teams with a lot of bad coaches. So can you get past a couple of those? But no, you don't have the players. True freshman at right tackle? Absolutely not.
All right, well, I can tell you who the most popular person from the fan perspective is on this subject, and it's not Will.
Well,
now, the question was, do they have...
It's just defense.
No, it wasn't.
No?
I think the elephant in the room is the schedule, and I think we all kind of agree on that. That you've lost 8 in a row to Georgia. You hadn't won at Alabama and Florida since the early 2000s. So can you flip one of those? Then maybe, but that can that be 10-2? It's going to be really, really difficult. I think you're closer to 8 than you are 10, right? Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's tough to repeat.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is the schedule. I really do.
Well, you're the only guy that's taking the schedule as a negative. Everybody else is looking at the schedule as a reason why you're going to just coast into a national title.
It's 3 key games to me, and then plus Oklahoma's
I'll throw
not
Oklahoma
going to be
in
a
there.
push. Yeah,
and I'm not laughing at Syracuse, but anyway.
Right.
I would. What my worry about that would be was last year you had so much depth on your defensive line that those guys were always fresh, and I think that's what made your defense so good.
Sure.
So could you use that formula to get to 10-2? I'm not going to go as far as Will said, and it would take an alien invasion to equal that. But I just see without the depth that you had on the defensive line, and until I see what your offensive line can do, and until I see a running back, you've had, but I'm going to say probably not. But unlike Will, I'm going to say it's within the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
If you have a quarterback, it's not throwing it to the other team.
That's why I don't think it's possible. I think you can follow that formula. I don't think in 1986. I think they made the playoff play in 1986 ball last year.
And it was smart.
And in terms of the defense, the defensive line having the rotation last year,
right.
You don't need somebody to come in and play 50 snaps. I mean, James Pierce played very few snaps last year. He was like 140th in the nation in terms of snaps off the edge. So the people are like, well, you've lost this and that. They rotate the guys anyway. You're going to get a lot of young guys in there, and you've recruited better. So I'm wondering if you might have some of that depth that we just don't know their names. It might be talented.
That's very
it might
possible.
be talented
Very
on defense
possible.
where it's not like a young guy on the offensive line. You're there the whole game, buddy. We need you. If you're talking about a young guy coming in to rotate in as a pass rusher for 8 snaps, that's not as daring. So I'll give you maybe there. I'll give you maybe on the offense. My problem is you took care of the football last year. I don't know if you're talking bad snaps again this year, if you get some snaps, if you got a quarterback who's throwing interceptions, whoever it is, your margin for error last year was small. And that's why Nico didn't wow anybody. Nobody thought he was great, but he didn't lose games for you.
And when you went through a stretch where you were having turnovers, because Sampson did,
Fumbled
that literally put you in a position where you had to win according to this formula.
Yeah.
And a couple of more turnover, another interception from Nico in one of those games, and you probably lose.
My concern is defensive tackle. I just don't think you have the bodies at defensive tackle. You lost Amari Thomas. You lost a second-day pick at the defensive tackle position, and I don't know who the dudes are. I like the starters, but both of those guys have dealt with injuries.
Omar and Owen Lott.
Amari, but both of them.
So to me, I think, okay, possible, not possible at all, no chance. Possible.
Small chance.
Small
Not
possible.
likely.
Not likely, okay. Very good. Hope that answers your question.